Everyone likes people watching on their neighbors, curious young children, the old cat lady, and even perverts. Hey, I'm just telling you like it is. But what happens when you witness a murder? Hey everyone, JBuck here, and today we're talking about the latest suspense thriller mystery movie originally based on a novel. But I wouldn't know because the last book I read was Gary Paulson's Hatchet. Anyway, it's The Woman in the Window, and we're gonna discuss this whole movie from the plot, from beginning to end, break down all of the twists and turns, and explain the deeper meaning in this movie. So sit back and relax and enjoy as we break down and explain this latest mystery thriller, The Woman in the Window. So it is safe to say if you're watching this video, then you've watched The Woman in the Window, or you clearly don't care about spoilers. Either way, here's a quick refresher. The Woman in the Window, not to be confused with the hit Michael Jackson song, opens on our main character, Anna Fox, played by Amy Adams, on what appears to be a Monday. Because text pops up and it says it's Monday. Anyway, she wakes up, takes her literal pile of pills, and has a conversation with her daughter and husband on the phone. Quick transition as Anna is now talking to her therapist, and we discover she's a bit of a nosy Nancy, spying on the prayer group across the street, the trumpet-playing kid, and the extremely white Russells. Hey, the movie called them that, I'm just repeating it, whom just moved in across the street. Through this conversation, we also learn Anna is depressed, suicidal, and apparently agoraphobic, which is not being scared of Al Gore, no, but rather fearing outdoors or leaving one's house. To combat these feelings, she has been prescribed Elevan, but is advised not to drink while on them. Well, that shouldn't be too difficult. Never mind, Anna is drinking like a 21-year-old sorority girl, pre-gaming with a large glass of wine and bottles all over her enormous home. As we see Anna spending her evenings creeping and drinking, they really missed an opportunity not to play Rockwell's Somebody's Watching Me in the background. Hard stop, as there is someone at Anna's door, and surprise, surprise, it turns out to be Ethan Russell from across the street. This teenage boy and Anna have a conversation that reveals more details, including Anna being separated from her husband, Anna working as a child's psychologist, and sensing there is potentially something off with Ethan, that maybe his home life isn't the best, specifically in regards to his father, Alistair Russell. It's now Tuesday as Anna wakes up from a hangover that looks worse than a morning after beer bonging Four Loko in college back in 2011. We are quickly introduced to Anna's basement tenant and handyman, David, who looks eerily similar, almost like he was in a recent high-budget comic book show or something. Sorry, I'm getting off topic here. Well, later that night, which happens to be Halloween, children egg Anna's house only for her to muster up the courage to confront them, opening the front door only to pass out, and then awakening back in her apartment, but with a strange blonde woman there. I think we all know how this adult film starts. This turns out to be Jane Russell. Finally, all of the Russells have been accounted for. The two pour some drinks and let the good times roll as Anna literally recreates the one half of the angry woman yelling at a cat meme. Seriously, check this out. I can't talk about this movie without mentioning this feline fiasco. Jane Russell is oddly nosy regarding Anna's drug stash, but is quickly whisked away when Anna brings up her son having stopped the day prior, along with Jane's lovely earrings that were given to her by an old boyfriend, or at least that's what she said. This conversation essentially reaches an end when Jane shows Anna a doodle of her and her cat on a notepad.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
As Anna is startled awake by her cat screeching and a loud bang downstairs, but like any stereotypical paranoid woman, it's revealed only to be her downstairs tenant, David, who again, this dude looks familiar, like he is radiating this like strong patriotism vibes, almost like he could be a symbol for America. Never mind, through their conversation, David determines that her skylight is very fragile, leaking, and has mold all over it. So Anna, if you're trying to rent this place out to anyone other than college students, you're definitely gonna have to get that fixed. As their conversation comes to an end, it is revealed that David is working with Alistair Russell across the street. Nothing serious, just opening up boxes from their recent move. Now this is where things get real crazy, as later that night, Anna hears some commotion from across the street, specifically the Russells, and tries her hand at some investigating. However, all she gathers is a weeping Ethan Russell on the phone and somewhat of an angry-tempered Alistair as she witnesses Jane Russell meander out of the apartment. Anna then asks her downstairs tenant David if he had heard a scream, but he quickly responds no. However, a woman faintly crying can be heard downstairs with him. Or maybe he's just watching The Notebook or Joanna Man, because honestly, those would make me cry. Anna returns back to her creeper window that she oh so loves, but notices Ethan quickly making his way across the street. Anna lets him in and states that if there's any problems to let her know, and gives Ethan her cell phone number, essentially establishing a weird Back to the Future Marty and Doc Brown dynamic. It's now Thursday, almost the weekend, as I can taste it, but Anna sure can too, as she's getting wild with a nice Merlot, her cat, and a French lesson? Okay, not everyone can party like it's 1999. As Anna is glasses of wine deep, it looks like Punch the Cat is already past the out. Seriously, are those the cat's paws? What is going on here? I gotta show this. Anna has another one of her nightmares of floating through space only to spring awake in a panic like any sensible person would. Where is my phone? In a drunken stupor, Anna finds herself back in her creeper's nest, checking on the Russells until the unthinkable happens. No, the Russells are not having a donkey show, but rather Jane is pushed and then stabbed right in the gut. It's like she spilled a whole jar of Smucker's jam on her, but you know, like, there's also a knife in there as well. In an all-out panic, Anna grabs her phone and calls 911. While the operators are on their way, Anna takes it upon herself to venture outside and save Jane herself. This is a huge step for Anna, almost like step 11 in the 12 steps of AA, as she crosses the street only to see headlights and hear tires screeching. Okay, now that we have the ball rolling on the woman in the window, let's talk about some of the twists and turns that are coming up and some things that people had no clue were coming. Unless you've already read the book, so yeah. Anna awakens in her apartment confused, almost like Dorothy in A Wizard of Oz, as detectives are there along with Alistair Russell, who's played by Gary Oldman. Speaking of Gary Oldman, one time I googled his name and totally forgot the R. Don't do that, people. You're gonna get some strange images to pop up. This is just a cautionary tale. Anyway, the questioning begins from everyone about who, what, when, where, why, and how Anna and her life. Anna breaks in saying no, she saw Jane Russell get stabbed. Alistair again gaslights Anna, which is a term that the youths are using nowadays, so, give me a thumbs up, you youngsters watching this video, stating that she has never met Jane. Anna again argues this point until a woman walks up to Anna, presumably Jane Russell. However, this isn't the same woman from earlier.
Holy camel toe.
Anna, in disbelief, makes a last-ditch effort to get answers from Ethan, only for Ethan to deny and say that she has never met his mother, Jane. Again, in a spiral of confusion, Anna ends the evening talking with her husband on the phone, and even he is starting to think that maybe she's getting things mixed up, or that her meds are the ones causing the problems. It's now Friday, so crank up that Rebecca Black.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday.
As Anna begins to go full-on break up with your ex and now stalk their life online investigator, tracking down all she can on the Russells. She doesn't find too much of anything aside from a memorial post thanking Alistair for the lovely flowers and uplifting messages for Pam Nazin's funeral, who after further investigation was found dead and held the position of executive assistant to none other than Alistair Russell. Well, what in the French toast is going on here? There's some random conversation with David, Anna creeping on the Russells again, blah, blah, blah. Let's just go to the next day. It's Saturday, so you know what that means. Anna can't find her cat Punch, so obviously ventures down to David's place to see if old Punchy McPunchface had made it down to his apartment, and sure enough, the kitty is just chilling down there. Anna then continues to snoop until finding a piece of key evidence, an earring that is the same one that Jane Russell had been wearing the night that she had hung out with her on Tuesday. This means only one thing: Anna's meeting with someone was in fact real, but if not Jane Russell, then who? Anna attempts to get answers from Ethan as he walks down the street, only for his father Alistair to hit him and threaten Anna that she is, quote, f***ing with the wrong family.
You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us!
And now it's Sunday fun day. Yeah, Saturday was pretty uneventful. I don't know, maybe Anna just studied more of her French classes or watched a movie. Who cares? It's Sunday now. As we see Ethan getting in a van off to who knows where, but here is where one of the biggest pieces of evidence falls into place. Anna finds the notepad picture Jane had drawn nights prior when she was there. This was the evidence she needed. Later that night, she is going through some creeper pictures she took of the Russells, and an anonymous email is sent to Anna from the address guesswhoanna@gmail.com. And unlike anyone with common sense and knows that this email is 100% spam and will give your computer a virus, Anna decides to open the attached photo, only to reveal that someone has taken a picture of her asleep in bed at 2:02 a.m. Essentially, a whole circus erupts now as detectives are there questioning Anna. David stumbles in clueless, and the Russells barge in, accusing Anna of being a hit Britney Spears song from the late 90s. The detectives, however, latch onto David, questioning him about a lot of things. Wait a minute, that is where I know this guy. He was John Walker, aka US agent in the hit Disney Plus series Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Oh my gosh, wow, that had been bugging me this whole time. Well, I'm glad we cleared that one up. Oh, sorry, back to the movie. As David admits that the earring in his room was actually from a different woman that he spent the night with on Wednesday, and her name was Catherine. So clearly this couldn't possibly be Jane Russell. Anna then begins to spew out any and all evidence she has against everyone in the room, continuing to admit that she is not crazy, saying that her husband could back her up on everything, until one of the detectives states, "Anna, your family is dead." What? As we now get what appears to be a flashback, we see Anna, her daughter Olivia, and her husband Ed driving on a dark, wintry road. The two argue in front of Olivia, even though we all know that she can clearly hear every single word from the front seat, as it is revealed that they don't want to ruin the holidays for Olivia, and something about another man. So we can assume that Anna had some sort of affair in recent time. And just like meatballs on spaghetti, Anna's phone rings, showing an unknown caller, and Ed saying, "Oh, that's gotta be him," while reaching for the answer button. Anna grabs it first, tossing the phone in between the seats, and like any desperate person who has lost a valuable to the forbidden seat crevasse, she reaches down for it, taking her eyes off the road for only a second, but it's far too late as she drives the vehicle straight off of a cliff. The falling snow is slowed down, resembling all of the dreams Anna had earlier in the film. It wasn't space or stars, it was the PTSD memories of the night she accidentally killed her family. So one of the biggest twists was that Anna was hallucinating this whole time. Her family did not exist anymore. Essentially, they had passed away in the car accident previously, about a year ago. But one thing is true, that Anna essentially killed the Falcon from the MCU, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I don't know, I think a lot of people are gonna be upset about that one. Forget all of that, we gotta get back into this because there's even more twists? Maybe? It's Monday again, and her weekly therapy session is in full force, as it's a dramatic change from the week prior. Anna feels ashamed, almost embarrassed, at her actions over the last week. She reassures Hot Carl that she will be doing better, and being off of Elevan is probably a good idea, until literally minutes after he leaves, Anna begins to make a drug cocktail and films essentially her suicide video, stating that she can no longer do this anymore. In what appears to be the last moments of her life, she reminisces her life by going through photos of her family on her phone one by one until the cat meme shows up once again. Meow, wait a gosh darn minute, as Anna then zooms in and notices the reflection of a woman in one of the wine glasses. There was, in fact, another woman. Anna wasn't hallucinating, but who is this woman? In what appears to be a joyous moment and essentially a change of heart to live, Anna then hears David grabbing the last of his things, eagerly telling him to come upstairs. She has to show him something. Like a young child excited about show and tell, Anna hands over the computer to David, saying she isn't crazy, that the woman in the wine glass was the Jane Russell she met roughly a week ago. David then, with a stern expression, states, "That's not Jane Russell. That woman's name is Katie, Ethan's birth mother." Holy banana sandwiches, Batman, as it's revealed that Katie was the one that stayed with David and was weeping in the basement that evening. Katie, or Catherine, was the one that Anna saw murdered. David then drops exposition that Katie was the birth mother, essentially had fallen into a bad scene, hanging out with meth addicts, so essentially anyone that lives in the Midwest, and Alistair had been paying her to stay away from him and Ethan for his whole life. Anna then pleads with David that they need to go to the police and explain the situation further, but with David's troubling situation and past, he doesn't want anything to do with the cops. Upon David leaving the dark apartment, there is a loud commotion as Anna then drops her laptop, cracking the screen, unable to clearly show the picture, aka her only evidence of Catherine being there. Going to investigate, Anna is caught by surprise when one of the biggest twists reveals themselves. Ethan. Wait, hold on. Why is Ethan there? I thought he left out of town in that van like a handful of days ago. Well, he essentially escaped this so-called wilderness training program and has been staying in Anna's home ever since. Ethan is the real menace, the one who attacked David, the one who killed Catherine, and now the one that is revealed to have been terrorizing Anna and is there to finish the job. I mean, it's pretty easy for him to pin David's murder on Anna because she was gonna kill herself anyway, so I mean, it's pretty easy. She already recorded the suicide video and everything. Ugh. Come on, people. Word of advice here. Don't pre-record these things. I know you're trying to save some time, but this is what could happen to you. So that's it. Ethan is truly the crazy one, pulling the strings, first killing Pam in Boston, then Catherine, and finally finding Anna to be the perfect next victim, because just like Catherine failing to care for her family, Anna too failed at taking care of hers. Some skewed logic, but again, he's only 15 and a half. Through some more lame dialogue, Ethan simply just wants to watch Anna pass away, so she grants him his wish.
Psych!
Instead, Anna smashes a bottle into his head, followed by some very exaggerated Home Alone kicks down the stairs, and she escapes to the roof, facing her greatest fear, the great outdoors. After a small skirmish between the two, and Anna getting a cultivator in the face, seriously, through the cheek and all, Ethan tries to take a page out of M. Night Shyamalan's Glass and drown our main character in a puddle. Remember that lame ending to that movie? I mean, the dude had super strength, but died in a puddle? Then through some poor editing, Ethan lets Anna up. Yeah, I don't know either, as he's going to throw her off the roof instead, only for Anna to push him onto the skylight, because remember, foreshadowing, people, from earlier in the movie, it needs repairs, and that poor 15-and-a-half-year-old plummets through the skylight to his death. Anna awakes in the hospital talking with Detective Little, saying that they all owe her an apology. She was correct the whole time and not to worry about the video. Anna is okay to delete it, and he won't say a peep. The movie then concludes with a 9 months later banner. Anna is finally moving out of this house, takes a step outside, and drives off to start a new life. The end. So that is it. The Woman in the Window has some twists and turns into this mystery thriller suspense leading to the very end. Honestly, a lot of twists and turns that I myself had no clue were coming, and I will admit that there are a handful of differences from the book to the movie kind of adaptation. I think that there's more focus on Anna's family along with Ethan towards the end of the film, along with a lot more neighbor characters or side characters in the novel that obviously are not here in the movie. So if you did read the novel first, obviously that one has a little bit more going on, a little bit more busy than this movie. But let's dive back into the very end of this film and kind of talk about the meaning or the themes that are there or present here. So essentially, the deeper meaning of The Woman in the Window revolves around Anna's PTSD. This is obviously a life-changing event in her life, and therefore leads to two different things: her mental illness, or rather agoraphobia, and her alcoholism or reliance on alcohol. These severely tamper with her life, from her inability to work properly, leave the house, or even have a normal life. And the introduction of the Ethan character is almost a physical manifestation of Anna's problems. If she continues down this path, they will be the end of her, much like Ethan was trying to do to her. So in the act of Anna throwing Ethan to his death while simultaneously going outside, it was her way of finally facing her fears and problems head on. And as we know, at the end of the film, Anna is able to leave her home and is no longer hampered by the alcoholic addiction. And this is even physically shown as she walks down the stairs at the end of the film. This is a visual representation of her coming back down to reality. The stairs symbolize her journey, along with the car ride into the horizon. Anna can start a new life once again. Or maybe The Woman in the Window is just a commentary on 2020 and the pandemic, showing Anna, a person who is terrified to leave her home and only finds joy creeping on her neighbors while finding answers at the bottom of a wine bottle, along with watching an endless amount of movies because everyone is trapped inside. And I mean, what else are you going to do? We are stuck in here. This also explains why the movie was delayed, to better represent the times we have been in, and Anna leaving her home at the end of the movie is a metaphor for people finally getting the vaccine. I mean, either or. So that is it, the mystery suspense thriller, The Woman in the Window, broken down from twist to turn, from Anna hallucinating everything to a 15-and-a-half-year-old serial killer. I mean, it's believable. But what did you think of this ending? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you see this coming from a mile away? Or did you enjoy all of the twists and turns from this novel to screen adaptation? Anyway though, thank you so much for watching. These Ending Explained Poorlies are a lot of fun. They take a lot of time. So if anything, just click that like button. It really helps me out. And then comment down below what you thought of this video or this movie. Obviously, watch more videos up there or over there. You know, brand new content every single week and day here on the JBuck Studios channel. Like this video, subscribe to the JBuck Studios channel. I need to get out of here because I am just yapping on too long, and we'll see you next time.